So today I'm going to be doing a little bit more sanding on the Corolla and see what this sander does to the white. Switched out for a fresh piece of sandpaper. Now we can see what this will do to the bumper. Gonna have to be careful doing those bumpers. They're fiberglass and that paint's knocking right off them quick. Well, do a couple touches on the hood and see what happens. swap batteries really quick, and we'll get back at it. Let me step up to a slightly more aggressive sandpaper. Go from a 320 up to a 150. See if I can't knock more of these paint chips out and smooth them down, and go back over that with the 320. That should smooth out just fine with the 320 grit. Don't want to polish mirror smooth, but the primer has something to sit to, because I am going to prime the car before I put paint on it. That much I'm going to do the right way. Now, should I be wearing a mask while I do this? Absolutely. Am I going to? No, because I don't care. I know this. Watching me sand my piece of junk Corolla is not exactly interesting. When I had knocked out most of the front door, while I was waiting for a battery to charge up a little bit, and that battery's still charging. I'm on the third one. So I'm going to give it a little bit more time to charge. Dump this out real quick. A little catch bag for the sander that does an amazing job. Cram that back on there and get back at it. on one spot for too long because it can warp the sheet metal. So keep that in mind when you're sanding on something. There's battery number 3 dead. Just shows how quickly this Ryobi eats batteries. I just wanted to point out real quick, the old fenders weren't too bad off. You can see kind of a little bit of a crease in the back here. But I kind of wanted a little bit of some denting right here and right here from where I hit a deer and it wrapped its head around. But I didn't really want to sand these down and straighten them out and everything. A, I got the new front fenders for fairly cheap. B, I have a weird thing for roses, so I kind of wanted to save that. That sticker's on both front fenders, and I really kind of just felt like saving that. So, and there's my Spitfire. I'm gonna start a little bit of sanding on the roof. Hopefully my phone stays where it's at. Because we'll find out how much this sander really vibrates the car. I'm not too worried about the roof being perfect by any means. I'm not even worried about it being close. Mainly because I'm going to be putting a roof basket on this. Well, I already pull a trailer with it every now and then, so why not increase its hauling capabilities? Down in here, I'm going to just do that by hand because there's no way to get the sander in there without chewing into the metal, which that part I don't want to do. And there's another battery dead. Decided to take advantage of that battery dying and let the sander cool off for a couple of minutes, and I went ahead and sanded down in here by hand real quick. Just it's got to be done either way. over the other side and finish knocking out the superstructure on the edge of the roof. As far as at least sanding goes, that's probably where I'm going to call it for the night. Well, here's how far I've made it with the sanding so far. I'm not going to make y'all watch me do these two doors or the underside of that fender. Got all the body filler. Before I paint it, I'm going to sand the bumpers down by hand because the paint on those is so thin I don't want to gouge out the fiberglass on them, but I do have a spare back bumper if it comes down to it. I got this back bumper off of the white Corolla as well. I don't think most of this is original paint. The base coats are coming out different. It's not sanding up too bad, too terrible though. I got one more little spot right there I need to attack a little bit better to smooth it out, but that's where all the chunks were missing out of the paint from picking up rocks over the years. Well, when the other car was being driven before it got parted out. I don't know what the deal was with this fender when I took the sander to it. The paint just started flying off of it. I don't know what was up with that, because that fender came off of the same car as the rest of the front clip before it went to the crusher. And a good buddy of mine pulled all these parts for me for this car before the other one went to the crusher because he knew I needed them for this one. Unfortunately, the other car was in worse shape than this. Luckily, he got me a fairly good price on them, because that saved me a lot of hunting for straight sheet metal. And he knew I was going to be sanding to paint, so he knew this was going to be a bit of a project. Got to slide the Warrior in there at some point. And just show them off my planes. I'm working on getting the shop cleaned out as I go with this project. It's kind of my day job. I work 45 hours a week, so I kind of squeeze in what I can where I can. Like a shot of the Warrior. I don't own anything too cool, but it's a toss-up when this is done. Do I want to bring the 78 Toyota in, a 77 Datsun, or do I just make a quick video right after this of fixing the power seat in my late stepdad's Ram so that my mom can drive it? Because she really wants to drive that truck. She really wants to get it going. It was his truck for a lot of years before he passed. And it's been a good truck. I don't blame her for wanting to drive it. She's into Dodge and Toyota. That's where I get it from, probably. I don't know if anybody'd be interested in seeing anything happen with these. So I want to get, these were cut before I got it. You see they're not even on there right. The headlights that were on it when I got it didn't, one of them was burned out, so I put these, I had the little Walmart specials sitting on the shelf. I just wired them up real quick. It didn't have the original headlights anyways. I like the factory look of these. I'm gonna find a new seat and new front fenders. Might sand out in the back fenders because it's been painted on. That's not mud. That's where paint has chipped off. And this one is getting fixed up. It's gonna be a little learner bike. I'm chasing an electrical problem in it right now. So for some reason the coil isn't getting power, so chasing that, and that's the battery out of the Warrior, because the battery out of that's way over there, and it's bad. It won't even take a charge. It just starts boiling when the charger's on it. And this is the parts bike for it. A lot of parts have been sacrificed for the good one. A lot of the parts like this are just seized on it. This is the seat for the one that's getting fixed. That's the seat off of the parts bike. I'm going to steal the wheels and tires off of it because those are all good. It's the exact same bike, just stash those when the frame goes to the scrap pile. The motor on this one's good, but the wiring harness is all butchered and it was not in good shape when I got it, but it was dirt cheap. They both were. They're just little Chinese four-wheelers. I'm going to take this off because it's busted on the one that's getting fixed up. My cheater bar, just a convenient place to keep it. I'm pretty sure that the problem with this one is the magneto being bad, but oh well. But that cover right there is supposed to bolt here and cover this sprocket. And the one that's going to be learning on this bike, I don't want the risk. I like having that shield right there for her. So don't want to risk her getting hung up in this or anything like that. And I'm going to make her wear a full helmet and proper gear. And when she's older, she can work her way up to a nicer four-wheeler. I'm not going to do a full restoration. See, the reverse lever on this one moves how it should. It goes into gear, and it's just a little automatic. Work her up to a little manual, and I'd like to get her on either a Warrior or a Raptor. I'm a Yamaha guy as far as four-wheelers go. I got no problem with Hondas, or I've had Kawasaki's, I've had Suzuki's, I've had little Chinese bikes. Just Yamaha's always been my favorite. My personal opinion, they handle it best for the way I ride, because I don't ride for stunts or anything. I just kind of, I like to go trail chasing. I go sling in the mud. And I miss my old Warrior. This one's fairly new to me, but she's a good bike. Just missing the forward chain guard. It's been busted off of the case, but that much I don't really care about. She still got the original muffler, which kind of shocked me, but the suspension on this is a little soft for my taste, but she still rides okay. Probably before I finish the Warrior, though, I'm going to take this off of there, get this one running. I'm going to teach her how to use the kickstart. It's got an electric start as well. I've got it, with chasing the electrical problems, I've got everything kind of torn apart right now, and got the ignitions up under the tank for some reason. I'm gonna back around over here. This isn't the right ignition for the bike. I've got the right ignition somewhere. I've just got this one temporarily wired in because it's off the parts bike. And I was hoping it was an ignition problem, which it wasn't, because this ignition was known good. I had the parts bike running before started stripping it down, so I know everything on it was good except for the harness. and the frame had a couple spots that made me question it, which is why it became a parts bike. Went out and got this one, and this one's straight. Everything safety-wise is good on it. It's got a parking brake. One thing that I like about the parts bike as opposed to this one is the parts bike. No, I did turn that off, okay. The parts bike has a throttle limiter on it, which is nice. I might take that off and move it over the good one. The carb style, different style, so I may or may not figure out how to swap that over so it has a manual choke. So right now it's got an automatic choke, and I'm just not a fan of those. I think it's 1 or 2 years newer than the other one. There's a couple of things that are just a hair different. The original Corolla taillights. There's the front fenders for this one. The battery tray for this one, they're molded into the rear fenders on these. The battery tray on this one was starting to fall out. It was broken. They were both beat pretty hard. This one and the parts bike. They're both beat pretty hard. So I'm going to teach her how to use the Kickstarter just in case the battery dies while we're out riding. But this bike's going to get the rear fenders off of this one. This one's battery tray is intact. I know the battery's not going to fall out and smack the chain, because the chain goes directly under the battery tray. So the battery on these sits right here. So this one I'm going to get the lights working. I had the headlights working for a little while, but it's got an electrical problem that I'm chasing kind of in my free time. I've got lots of time to get this bike done, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm not too worried about running out of time. So here's the kill switch that's missing off of it. So that's still wired in and everything. It's just not mounted where it's supposed to be right now. Another thing is this one's got both footboards on it. That's what the wheel and the cover's sitting on. This one has one on this side. It's got the Kickstarter as well. It's in a little bit better shape, but the footboard snapped clean off. You can see here's the main harness off of this one. It's all crunchy. Carburetor's a little different, but everything that matters is either the same or close enough that I can make it fit. So when I take that out to the scrap pile, I'm gonna make the wheels and the tires, the exhaust, the engine, and basically what it needs, what this one needs now is gonna go on it now, and everything else is gonna get mothballed for it for when it needs it later. Those handlebars are bent. I bent those unloading it because, you know, dumb redneck. I do want to get another Warrior. This one's a first gen. I want to get a second gen to go with it. But this one runs good. I use this one around the property from time to time. Haven't had a chance to take it out trail chasing. One thing I like about the first gens is they have a pull start on them as a backup. The second gens don't have that. I like the look of the second gens better than the first gens. They use the same front fenders. Usually come out to about here or so. But the second gens have a different hood. This is where the headlights are supposed to be on the first gen. Second gens are up here in this area. That's what the last Warrior I had was, a second gen. This one's an 88. My other one was a 93. Still kicking myself for getting rid of it. But they've got reverse, just like the little Chinese bike that is going to be a learner. She's muddy, she leaks a little bit of oil, but she runs good, so I ain't going to complain. I got it for cheap. So this one's going to get new front fenders when I find them, and I'm going to put the factory style headlights back on it because I like the look of them. These do the job, but I like the factory stuff on these better. I'm not a big fan of cut fenders. They took the side piece off, the side trim, and it's supposed to come over here, and it hangs down pretty good, about yay far over here, and then about down to here or so over the tire. Kinda, I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense to me why somebody would cut the fenders on these, on any four-wheeler for that matter. But it wasn't mine when they were cut, so I can't complain. I mean, I'll ride it as is until I find new ones. It's not that, it wasn't a deal breaker for me. I don't understand it. I like having full fenders on mine. I've just never understood the cut fenders. I doubt it, but I might take this front bumper off, and it's not the original. I might paint it, might slap a different one on. Of course, I just park her in neutral. She's on flat ground in a shop, so I need to figure out this one. For some reason, the brake light doesn't work, so got to figure that out. Been too lazy to haul that out to the scrap pile, so there's that. Still has the original front tires on it, which is impressive for the age of the bike. These backs are fairly new. They were on it when I got it. But we're making progress on the important part.